So this first one is from Mr. Nguyen, and he wrote a product copy page for my Finding the Constellation Masterclass. If you guys want to see this, we can go to the Copy That website. So basically, I did a masterclass a while back about studying copy and how to study copy, how to get more out of the time you put into it, because there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Tree was nice enough to write a new page for it because ours is shit. Like all great copy submitters, he kind of gave us some guidelines. He was nice enough to create a wireframe so that we have a sense of design elements he wants to use. His reader is copywriters who understand why reading copy is key to honing their craft, but who also find it tough or just don't know how to read copy that really benefits them. He changed the title to Steal the Eyes of the Copywriting God, and then has a different image. He added some CTAs. So let's just go through it. Steal the Eyes of the Copywriting God, a masterclass on studying copy. If you've been trying to study copy and find yourself saying, what the heck? What on earth am I even supposed to be looking for? This is for you. The reason you're facing challenges in understanding copy is because you're not searching for the right elements. Lucky for you, in this masterclass, Rod has developed a unique LSC method to help you identify crucial aspects often overlooked when studying copy. With this masterclass, you will, 1, no longer feel confused or unsure about making sense of copy ever again. 2, start spotting the hidden language and pattern behind any piece of copy, something only expert copywriters can notice. 3, understand what any piece of copy is doing, why it's effective, how it evokes emotions. So if you wish to have the ability to analyze any piece of copy to quickly improve as a copywriter, then join Rod Satterwhite in this 40-minute masterclass and discover his bulletproof method for consistently breaking down and analyzing copy. Presenter, me, time, deliverable, bonus lesson, Patreon push, love it, purchase button, love it. And so it looks like he also took some screenshots of the masterclass that he's watched and broken down some of this cool stuff. So cool. I like this setup. I think there's some small things I would tweak, but I think the structure you've chosen here is good. So very first thing you're doing is having this audience call out, saying, hey, is this you? Sometimes we'll call these micro agreements, where basically you'll get someone to sort of say like, oh yes, I agree with that thing, or I'm saying yes to this part of the copy, just to get them a little bit more invested and feel like the reader feels like you're talking to them specifically, which is fantastic. Consider changing the language here. What the heck? What on earth am I even supposed to be looking for? To something a little bit more specific. I think the experience of reading copy for a lot of people, especially when you're new, is like, okay, maybe what am I looking for, or what's important here, or what am I supposed to be studying about this? Maybe like on a little bit deeper level, like, oh, why is it that I'm supposed to be studying this piece as opposed to that piece or something? You could break that out into a couple different quotes, or like you could say like, do you ever find yourself saying this or this? Then this is for you. But in theory, I like this. And then you give a reason to justify why they're feeling the way they do. Fantastic. The bullets are cool. I think this is a great benefit. Good intrigue. And number 2, this third one, understand what any piece of copy is doing, why it's effective, and how it evokes emotions, I think is pretty good. But one way you could push it even further is to talk about why someone might care about that or what they can do with that. It's a little clunky to me. I like the notion of saying if you want to be able to analyze any piece of copy, but these ellipses are a little awkward to me. You could even just say or, and, something. And then this last sentence I think is good in concept, but again, just like this bullet here, make it a little bit more obvious what the benefit to the reader is. Obviously, I think it's great if people are discovering my bulletproof method for consistently breaking down and analyzing copy, but imagine you are someone who doesn't know how to do this. What is the benefit that's going to bring them? What are they going to be able to do differently? How much more time are they going to have? How much more understanding are they going to have? When you're having this sort of like summarizing push, make sure that it's pushing towards the benefit the reader is going to experience, not just what it is they're literally buying. As for the copy on this right here, I would definitely consider changing this because they're not watching me break this down in real time exactly. Because it's in the past, so it's not like current time. And there's probably a better way of positioning me than just high-level copywriter. Not that like I'm super high copy god, but what is something that's going to be more relevant to the audience? And maybe you end up thinking that like high-level copywriter is the most like salient thing to somebody, and that's fine. But I just spend a minute or two thinking about, is there a better way to do that? Okay, cool. So part 2. In just 40 minutes, you will discover successful Nike copywriters' unique LSC approach. Just off the bat, you definitely can't position me as Nike copywriter because I don't work exactly for Nike. Nike's a client of the business I work for. So someone might be like, oh, technically he doesn't work for Nike. I think like what you're going for here is fine, but just on like a factual level, always make sure that you're checking with people. Hey, is this title appropriate? Does this work? Is this true? Allowing you to easily decipher the secrets behind any successful copy with only 3 steps. I like this headline. So in just 40 minutes, so it's very short. discover new information. You have this unique mechanism. And the benefit of discovering this new thing is you will easily decipher the secrets behind any successful copy with only 3 steps. So it's simple. If I wanted to push on anything in this, it's not entirely clear to me that this is about studying copy, but I imagine that you're going to get into that. Revealed Rod's exotic 3-stage LSE approach. I don't think I've ever seen the word exotic used to describe a copywriting technique, but I love it. Most people find it challenging to understand copy because they often overlook the 3 fundamental layers present in every piece of copy. If you fail to recognize these layers while reading, it means you're not really getting the hang of studying copy effectively. Of course, identifying even one of these layers can be quite difficult. That's why with Rod's LSE approach that he never shared before, studying copy becomes a cakewalk, because in this masterclass, Rod will show you exactly how to identify and understand those challenging 3 layers with only 3 steps. Step 1, spot out the literal layers in the piece of copy. Step 2, find the structural layers in a piece of copy. Step 3, figure out the conceptual layers in a piece of copy. How can I be so sure these 3 steps, this 3-step method works? Well, major corporations like Nike are paying a hefty amount of money to Rod for his marketing/copywriting ability. And how do you think Rod became such an amazing and successful copywriter? It boils down to the fact that Rod analyzes and studies copy every single day. By using the exact LSE approach you're about to discover in this masterclass, this is the very process Rod swears is, quote, the biggest accelerator of my personal growth as a copywriter. I did say that. But don't take it from me or Rod. See it for yourself. What you'll get in this 40-minute training brimming with value. And so we have some bullets. Here's how to get A-grade copy delivered to your inbox every morning at no cost, so you can just focus on studying and improving yourself as a copywriter. 2, the secrets of BFN revealed. This is the best type of copy to study as a newbie if you want to quickly improve as a copywriter. I have no idea what BFN is. The single most thing you have to extract from every piece of copy. If you can't grasp this one thing, you'll definitely struggle to break down copy. I like how this starts. Because you've been talking about breaking down, studying copy so much, I think you need to remind people that there's like a tangible thing at the end of it. There's a reason why they're studying. And so instead of saying you'll definitely struggle to break down copy, I would pivot more towards like, you'll struggle to break into the industry, to have some sort of good result, to get jobs, to write great copy. Like, what is the thing that happens if they are struggling to even break down copy? Discover Rod's one simple trick that makes analyzing sales letters less challenging, a trick even top copywriters might not be aware of. This will cut down 10 to 20% of your time analyzing copy, especially sales letters. I like this. This 10 to 20% number, though, is a little bit, I think we could do better than that. And the reason why I say that is because, like, I don't know what 10 to 20% of my time feels like or looks like. If you said 50%, that's a lot. That just feels like intuitively large, but 10 to 20% could be 5 minutes, or that could be an hour. Agora Financial's #1 back-end copywriter in 2020, our lovely Sean MacIntyre, will show you the 30 most common structural elements that you need to identify in any sales letter. Once you put these elements to work, comprehending how all successful sales letters work will be a walk in the park. Along with LSE method, Rod also demonstrates the application of these theories through live analysis of famous copy pieces. More details at times. This is clunky. I understand what this means. I love big words. I love fancy shit, but I think for the average reader, this is going to feel a little difficult, because you could also just say, Rod will also demonstrate how to apply these techniques using famous copy examples. Even when we like using big, precise, wonderful words, remember that most of our audience does not like reading them, or it's going to take them more effort to read them. And so when you can, try to use that simpler language. I don't know what this is. Uncover the one foundational question that all good piece of copy must answer. If you know what it is, then you can identify whether or not a piece of copy works in an instant. That's a great bullet. And much, much more. I'm actually really curious what I said. To help you even more, we've got a juicy bonus for you valued at $15 when you join this masterclass right now. And the best part, you're just a click away from this lovely trove of wisdom. Look, you and I both know that if we want to write copy that sells like crazy over and over, everything starts with reading brilliant copy every single day. But reading fantastic copy without the power to dissect it is like having a vault full of treasure and not a single clue on how to crack it open. This is a great analogy. That's why Rod designed this masterclass, to show you how to smoothly deconstruct any piece of copy, so you'll never feel confused or uncertain whenever you lay eyes on copy ever again. What are you waiting for? Hit that button below to snag Rod's personal LSE approach. Arrows, purchase, order form. Cool. So I think there's a bigger concept here we can talk about that is worth thinking about. When you have a product, you are selling the product. Let's say I have this masterclass. I know it answers, how do you study copy, right? So I'm going to say, hey, here's this masterclass. It's on studying copy. That's like level 1. And we definitely have to do that because the people who would benefit that are looking up, they're searching the internet, how to study copy. However, lots of people are selling products like this. Yes, you absolutely need to answer the most obvious question of like, okay, what is this thing literally? However, that's not enough. What that means for your copy is that, yes, you start with, hey, this is what this thing literally is, but you need to take your reader on a journey of, okay, you think you're just doing this, but really you're doing this other thing that's much deeper, much more important, is going to benefit you much more than this thing you think you're looking for. These are these 3 techniques or these 3 levels at which you can study copy. But the value in you knowing how to study copy is not just that you can read copy and get the most out of it. It's you're going to be able to write copy better, which means that you are going to be able to have quality copy sooner, which means that you're going to get clients sooner, which means you're going to get better clients sooner, which means you're going to be making more money, which means you're going to be more fulfilled as a person, which means you're going to, get the supercar and the spouse of your dreams, which means you're going to live in happiness for all of eternity, right? We need to slowly take our readers through that journey, because when somebody is starting off in their copywriting career or any kind of career or is looking at any sort of product, it's not always intuitive how investing in that product is going to transform their life. At the beginning of this, we are talking about, studying copy. We're talking about the LSC approach. That's great. And I think at the end, you kind of get into, this is the biggest accelerator of my personal growth as a copywriter. But I think this middle part where you're kind of throwing in these details about like my career and how I got to be so great, we could definitely use this space as an opportunity to walk that person through. Hey, and once you know how to do this, that's going to mean you can study for less time, or you'll get more out of that time, which means your copy will see improvements or whatever. Talk about how that's going to show up in their life, in the reader's life, not just in my life. This part, I would just like delete this, because you are teasing this LSC approach. You're saying this thing, it's a proprietary thing. And when you are talking about all the benefits it gives, but people don't know what it is, it feels big, it feels mysterious, it feels like, oh my God, I got to find out what that is. If you straight up tell people what it is in the copy, someone has the ability to read this and be like, oh, I can do that on my own. I don't need to buy this masterclass, or this seems really obvious. And so definitely just like straight up delete this. Think about some of those critiques I made, and I'd love to see this again. I think next time we can go through it a little bit more quickly. The page is designed well. It's clear you've watched the masterclass, and so I like it. I just want to see like that extra step.